again. Recently, I have been doing a bit of DIY, and as a result of that, it can become quite dusty in the house when using tools like the drill. And unfortunately, the dust does travel absolutely everywhere, including my beautiful shiny plants. Even if they are in a separate room, will still happen regardless. And so today is dusting day for these little guys, or not so little in this one's case. But I do find the process of dusting them to be really quite relaxing. And satisfying. So I thought you may like to see how it's done. And also the process for different types of plant, as depending on the size and leaf type, you can do them in a number of ways. So I will show you what has worked best for me. And I will be demonstrating on just a small selection of my plants. Otherwise, we may be here for some time. so many. You will need a few different things. I have some microfiber cloths, a few different ones. For the different plants. A bowl of lukewarm water. I have this little Halloween tub for sweets. And if you have smaller plants, some old paint brushes or makeup brushes would also be very useful. You can also bring a bag or another empty bowl to put the cloths in when you've finished using them on each plant. It's always useful to have. So we'll begin on this beautiful cheese plant, which has gotten quite a bit bigger since I last showed him in a video. And he has begun to spread out quite a lot, which means that he isn't necessarily getting enough light in the current spot he's in. And the stems start to branch out because they are seeking light. So I will have to find a new spot for him. He's still doing very well and is very healthy. He's just telling me, letting me know by growing outwards that he needs more sun. That's all. So I'll have to move him soon. And I think I know just the spot. So we'll try him in the corner to see how he likes it. does have quite a few new leaves on the other side too, which is very exciting. I love to watch them unfurl day after day. So nice. So I will take one of the cloths and dip it into the water. And then wring that out. It really doesn't have to be wet. It just needs to be slightly damp. Just to help to take the dust off. So once you're happy with that, you can take the leaf and support it from underneath very gently. Just wipe away all that dust. Always make sure that the leaf is supported by your hand. So that there are no tears or damage. And there's no strain on the stem. Looks better already. And you just go over every one in the same way. Very, very gently. And slowly. best way for one this size is to put it into the shower and to wash it that way. To gently shower it off. If you wanted to do it this way, again, you should use lukewarm water, like I am doing now, as I've heard that this will not shock the plant at all. And I also only use lukewarm water to feed the plants for this same reason. But yes, if you put them in the shower, of course, don't use any soap on them. And you can do a few at a time too. But do be aware that quite a bit of soil can escape from the pots, so be careful when draining it away. There are some plants that can't be wiped down in this way or showered because the leaves are quite delicate. And to clean those, you can use a spray bottle to mist them. It's a good way to get the water onto the leaves without upsetting the plant. And again, you can use old brushes, old paint brushes, or even old makeup brushes to wipe down the ones with more delicate or smaller leaves. And they're also good for the kind of plants that have hairy leaves too. Plants are very good for us. They can reduce airborne bacteria. They produce oxygen, and they do help affect our overall mood in a positive way. And these effects can be reduced if they are dirty or dusty. They are, after all, living, breathing beings, and I think that they're a bit more content and happier when this is done. I certainly am. Another reason is for the plant's health. You have to remember that usually a houseplant's natural habitat would have been outdoors, where there is rain and wind. So this would occur naturally, as there is no weather in your house. It's a good habit to practice this regular dusting, as it can improve photosynthesis and if the leaf is covered in a layer of dust, it won't be able to get as much sunlight, nor will there be the right amount of carbon dioxide reaching the plant. So of course it will result in a much healthier plant. Plus, an added bonus is that it will be glossy and beautiful to look at. Look at the size of this leaf. Just love it. So beautiful. to the next plant. So this plant is, I believe you pronounce it, Alocasia amazonica, more commonly known as the elephant ear plant. And you can see where it gets that name. I don't think that I've shown this one in a video before. This is only half of the original plant. As I had to repot and separate the one that I bought because it was growing far too large for its pot. But this one seems to be doing okay so far, at least. This plant has very thick, waxy leaves, and they are very dark green colour with this very pale contrasting green that runs along. So stunning. I call this one Tim, and the reason for that is because the shape of the leaf makes me think of the way that Tim Burton would draw a heart. Sort of elongated and crooked. I really like it. The underside of the leaves are just as pretty. This deep red purple colour and this complicated system of veins. I'm going to take a different cloth and put that in the water. And just wring that out once more. The reason that I'm using a different cloth is because both the cheese plant previously and this one are both poisonous, so I don't want to risk contaminating each of the other plants that I dust. I never want to risk using the same cloth on two different types of plant. I think it's much safer to just use a fresh one, and also fresh water in case you've been wiping them and then put the cloth back in the water. It's always better to change everything for each plant, I think, anyway. And of course wash your hands too between each one. I just think it's a good practice to have, and it's much safer. And on the same note, to keep the plants away from your pets and younger children too. Okay, so now I've made the cloth damp. We'll just do the same thing. Take the leaf and support it while you gently wipe it all over. Remember that your cloth does not need to be soaking wet, just very, very slightly damp. If you find that there is water being left on the plant, then it's far too wet. Sounds so nice. Hear how waxy the leaves are. Also, do remember when you're cleaning them in this way to leave the plants out of the sun for a little while after wiping them down. And that's just so that they don't get too hot or scorched in the sun if they're too damp. Just love the sound it makes. It's almost rubbery. I really like doing this. It's almost like brushing a pet. It's really therapeutic and relaxing. Looking after or caring for something. And I really hope the plants like it too. Just look how beautiful and shiny that is. So gorgeous. On to the next one. So the last one is this lovely orchid that I think I've shown you in a video maybe 2-3 years ago. And he's bloomed again quite recently, which is always very exciting. He has these greeny yellow flowers, and on the inside a tiny little pink stripes. makes me think of vanilla. It's really cute. And for this one, we'll be using one of the old paintbrushes that I have. You can, if you like, also dip this in water so that it's a little damp too, to try and help dislodge any dust that might be hard to get. But for now, we will just try this one dry. So you just start at the base of the leaf, and work your way up. Right to the tips. And just dislodge any debris on the leaf. Now being very gentle with the brush, and these leaves are really quite sturdy. So I'm not supporting them all the time. But if you do have a plant that is a bit more delicate, please do remember to support the leaf from the underneath. And if you need to, you can blow away any that might be lodged. I don't know if you can see all that dust, but there's quite a lot. And for any harder to reach parts, simply use a smaller brush. To get all the way in. As well as paintbrushes, you can also use a soft toothbrush enough not to cause damage. If you have a plant that has fuzzy leaves, you can also just use an old discarded leaf to help brush off the dust that may have collected. Something like the smaller ones are also delicate enough, gentle enough to brush the flowers too, but I don't feel that it needs it right now, and I would be a little worried doing this on orchid flowers anyway, as they are so fragile. I feel they might just fall off if you try. And even if you try it on more robust flowers, please be careful not to overdo it. I hope that this was pleasant for you, and that you enjoyed. And now I get to go away and enjoy my beautiful shiny plants.